been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Well, hello there. A little probiotic to start the show today because somehow 3:45 turned into 5:02 just like that on The Monty Show, presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And I say it every day. Yes, if your neighbor's dog gets out and attacks you or bites your kids, yeah, you need to get an injury attorney for that. You didn't deserve to get attacked by your neighbor's dog, and they are nice people, but they got to learn to put their dog on a leash. I love, and maybe it's because I live in a dog town like Seattle, I'm a big believer that you need to control your dogs. And I hear all the time about how my neighbor's dog got out, and I was chatting with a listener yesterday who said, do you really think my neighbor's dog who bit my wife on the leg the other day while she was vacuuming out the back of our SUV in the garage? So apparently this dude has a really nice, I haven't seen a Cadillac Escalade. I think it's like a CTV or whatever it is. The nicest Escalade you can get. So they just got it, right? They went to the mountains. This dude lives in Utah, and his wife is vacuuming out the back of their new Escalade, and their neighbor's dog, she didn't even see it coming, apparently jumped over a fence or got out of its fence and bit his wife while she was vacuuming out the back of her Escalade. Yes, you need an injury attorney for that. They don't, and maybe this is emblematic of where we are as a people right now. They don't know their neighbors. They don't know their neighbors. So very interesting. Yes, if your neighbor's dog attacks you, you need the advocates at theadvocates.com. If you get in a car wreck, you're driving that beautiful new Escalade and somebody rear-ends you, because I know this is a shocker, they were driving distracted. Yes, you need to call an attorney. 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. And the best part is you never, ever pay out of pocket to work with the advocates, because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So it costs you nothing to get clear, risk-free advice at theadvocates.com. All right, a lot to get to today. I'm excited about TGL. I'm excited about the Tiger Golf League.
Right.
My wife, you guys know that my wife she puts up with me. She doesn't, she is nice enough to share her space in this world with me. So I'm watching TGL last night, and she's like, all right, because it was pretty anticlimactic. There wasn't a lot going on early in the match. And she's like, all right, should we try to get in an episode of The Good Fight? Because we're on like season 4, so we've only got 2 seasons left. That was like, sure, why not?
Come on, dude.
Turn it off, and what happens? Twitter explodes with Tom Kim hole-in-one.
Uh-huh.
I try to have niceties in my life. And then does your wife, well, you're never going to be married, but does your significant other, as a millennial, the person you shack up with, who controls the TV in your house, Jake?
I would say I do. We have, it really is depending on the day and the time we have. Like, I haven't been as plugged into TGL. I like watching the clips of it, but I haven't caught it live yet this season.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, we've been into this new cooking show that I really like. It's called Tournament of Champions on, I don't even remember. I think it's on Paramount or something like that. But But it's we've been into this cooking show, but there's a lot of times where it's just not, we don't have a ton of time. I mean, when you get home, she typically gets home at like 6:15. You
Yep.
make dinner, so you probably only really have like 2 hours maybe. So I mean, it really 9 times out of 10, it's I'm the one handling the remote. But it is, there are times where you have to acquiesce and compromise.
Yeah. We don't really do a TV control thing.
Yeah.
We I don't have a TV in my room. In the comment section, do you guys have a TV in your bedroom? Jake, do you have a TV in your bedroom?
Absolutely not. And it is a steadfast line in the sand that I will not cross.
Oh,
if the girlfriend had her way, she'd have a TV in the room, but I have shot that down repeatedly many times.
Yeah, you can't have a TV in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, look. TCU James, Oak State won it. Why do you care? Why does it matter that Oak State won? Yeah, I don't understand. Why does it matter that Oak State won? TCU won at Texas Tech. Yeah. Okay. I do have a TV in my bedroom. Ooh, they say that's terrible for your sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
They say that your bedroom needs to be one thing mentally, and that is going to sleep or having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Which you hopefully, okay. No TV in the bedroom. No TV in the bedroom. St. George Ute, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. Good morning. It's official. The Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies suck. Utah is a basketball-free zone. Hey, did you guys see? I don't remember who. Kyle Anderson.
Yes.
Did you guys see Kyle Anderson talked about how when he was on the Jazz, they weren't trying to win any games? How crazy is that? Like, how crazy is that? That you're not trying to win any games. Yeah. The NBA is so broken right now. Let me ask you about this real quick. Did you guys see this Atlanta Hawks Magic City thing? Do you guys know what Magic City is? Magic City.
I'm not super familiar. Now I am, but I wasn't.
Well, now I am. I didn't know that Magic City is a strip club. And the Atlanta Hawks are hosting a Magic City night that includes wings, apparently.
Magic City is known for their lemon pepper wings. So you have to understand that unless you, and this is really the crux of the argument. So the Atlanta Hawks are doing Magic City Monday, March 16th against the Magic. So they saw an opportunity. Hey, Magic City, are coming to
Orlando
town.
Magic.
Town. Okay, cool. There's some synergy. All right, it all kind of works together. But the thing here is that the conversation is, see, there's Magic City, right? Ferrari out front. Okay, we're good. It's totally GTA vibes. We understand. But, it's this whole conversation about ethically, is it wrong to do a promotion as an NBA team around and it's not strip club, it's script club, okay? You got to work some accent in there. So is it unethical and incorrect to run a promotion around the quote institution known as Magic City? Because you guys will remember, Magic City is notorious, right? This is hardly the first time we've heard about this place. This gentleman right here, former head of the NFLPA, Lloyd Howell, was brought down over his billing issues at Magic City. So I just think it's incredible when you've got iconic players for the Atlanta Hawks, such as in like Lou Williams back in the day, who was absolutely notorious and a fixture at Magic City. Now Magic City's come full circle with the Atlanta Hawks to do a promotion, at which point the chief marketing officer of the Atlanta Hawks, Proctor, I can't remember, I think it was Jennifer Proctor, is out here talking about how Melissa Proctor is out here talking about how I don't think this is an all-time ticket request. I don't think I've ever gotten as many ticket requests to a game. I have people saying, hold a hoodie for me on this side. So let me get this right. Just so we haven't even talked about Luke Cornett's comments yet, but just so we're all on the same page, Magic City Monday against the Orlando Magic is getting more ticket requests and has driven up the price of Atlanta Hawk tickets 300%, bro, more than the playoff runs. because this place is such an institution in the ATL. I just I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence ethically about whether this is cool or not.
I understand. Not cool.
I understand. Cool. If you're in the ATL and everyone's celebrating this place, the Magic took a little bit of a risky opportunity here. And again, this is what a promotion should be, or the Hawks took an opportunity here. But again, I'm just going to say, typically promotions are like corny ass 5X t-shirts that nobody's ever going to wear.
Wait. You can't, I agree with all of what you just said. Is it not lost on anyone that this is a strip club that glorifies women as sexual objects? And the NBA has a horrendous track record, both recent and throughout its history of issues with women, issues at strip clubs, issues related to strippers. See Zion Williamson in the near term. Like,
come on, dude.
You're glorifying a joint whose entire job is to objectify women, and Luke Cornett is unamused by it.
I really just saw the statement last week in the announcement by the Hawks, and just in terms of the public voice as it pertained to, I feel like it didn't really represent what I know, myself and a lot of others throughout the NBA felt. So I think I did just, want to make sure that part of the discussion is expressed, and I mean it comes with, people like criticism and stuff like that, and I think that's, part and parcel of why people might be hesitant to do so. But I think actually trying to get the conversation started and able to have is something that's important to be able to try to, help ensure that the league is kind of something that everyone is, wanting to represent, and an environment that you want to have.
Has the league itself reached out to you, or have you heard from them?
Not really in the aftermath with it. Beforehand, I spoke with some people in the league just to kind of see what the status of it was, to make sure, I was kind of up to date on the situation. Since reaching out,
So the NBA has no problem with the Atlanta Hawks honoring a strip club.
Commissioner Ears is more interested in creating endless tournament after endless tournament to solve all of the league's tanking issues and, trying to make the league more accessible and attractive. But the moment the Atlanta Hawks roll out a strip club promotion, we don't hear anything, which is why I say it's incredible.
The hypocrisy in this.
Yes.
The hypocrisy in this is wild. It's a strip club. You're glorifying sex acts with women. And people like that. It's just wings, bro. It's lemon pepper wings. What's the problem?
Yeah, what do you mean? It's Magic City. We all go there. What's the big deal, dude?
We had league meetings where the GM meetings were there last fall. What do you mean?
Come on, dude.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed by it. And I guess, I don't know. Am I being a stick in the mud because I don't really have a sense of humor about it? I think it's disgusting and abhorrent that an NBA franchise is partnering with a strip club. That's where we are in this. I'm telling you, the NBA sucks right now. The NBA sucks right now. I hate LeBron James right now, laying on the floor last night for 20 minutes. I hate Luka Doncic right now. Getting a technical foul while shooting a free throw. The NBA is broken. The NBA
the free
is
throw
broken.
and complains and gets a tech. It's incredible, dude. And I have to say, you want to talk about double standards. I mean, dude, James Harden is prolific in strip clubs in his time in the NBA. He's got a jersey hung at one. I can't remember. I think it's in Houston. I think that is. I'd have to double check. But it's just I don't know how the league got here. How did we get to a place where and look, I understand Atlanta is its own place. Okay, I understand that Magic City is a cultural phenomenon there. That doesn't mean it needs to bleed into the league, and that doesn't mean that the Atlanta Hawks should be condoning it. And that's the hard part is that now it's oh well, hey, we're the Atlanta Hawks, we're willing to do business with basically anybody. And it's I understand that you got to get butts in seats, as they say, and this certainly did that. But at what cost, dude? I mean, that's tough, bro. And by the way, I'd also like to point out this on the heels of trading Trae Young probably not go in the right direction if you're the organization.
Yeah. Well, I don't even care about the basketball talk. This Wingstop said no. Like, come on, man. Wait until Magic Mike night when everyone gets a banana hammock. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can we class this up? Let's call it a gentleman's club. Exactly. TCU James, who is allegedly a pastor, is defending strip clubs. I'm not at all for strip clubs,
but
can we get the wings to go like curbside ordering?
Dude. Bro, did you just ask if you can DoorDash from Magic City, dude? This is what I'm talking about right here. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
You're okay. So I just want to make sure I get this right. No, I'm not going to get it right. Wait and like this. That's one anyway. Wait until the Jazz does Provo Dave night.
Yes, Provo Dave night. Correct. Yes.
Provo Dave night. Chad Perling, Utah basketball. Utah State tops the Mountain West. Yeah, Utah State's having a year. Utah State's have not a lot of Aggie tears these days. Is that how bad the Atlanta Hawks are right now?
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
Apparently. Tone deaf with all the epi talk right now in the news. It probably. I am really on the rail about this strip club thing. On one side, I think people should be free to spin about how they want. But on the other hand, I can see how it really can burn your butt. Okay.
Dude, your ass burning is not from the concept of the club. It's because you went to the club and had some activities. That's the problem. Okay.
You should get some ointment for that.
Yeah.
The Wicked Turtle, they have a back door for wing pickup. And they trust me when I say they don't offer boneless. James FTR, you need a confessional ASAP.
I can't believe you're endorsing a strip club, dude.
How is Pastor James White endorsing a strip club?
In God's name, image, and likeness.
James, I'll never understand your theology. I'll never understand it. I'm sorry, but James endorsing this makes my day.
This is what I'm saying. This is an unskippable topic, dude. It had to be talked about on the show because it's just I can't believe that you've got your chief marketing. I personally believe that the chief marketing officer is out here simply saying that people have more interest in strip club material than they do Atlanta Hawk basketball. Nobody
in the Iraq.
Yeah, in the Iraq, known as the ATL, nobody gives a damn about your basketball team. They just want their hoodie and they want their wings and they want to go home. Like, that's what this is, dude. That's, to me, the biggest slap in the face that you did a promotion that's like an all-time successful promotion, allegedly, and it's all centered around debauchery, as usual. Like, it's incredible, dude.
I'm good. I am not going to a strip. I think strip clubs are gross. I'm not doing it. I think strip clubs, we'll do it when we're in Vegas because Jake's 21st birthday is coming up. But that's the only time I'll do it. Mm-hmm. We are going to a strip club in Vegas, right?
Yeah, sure, man. That's on the books. Yeah,
James is going to take you.
Yeah, FTR backdoor, the whole thing.
Yeah, pastors and pole dancing, exactly right. Listen, the NBA, honest to goodness, the NBA is broken. In my opinion, I think the NBA is in a terrible spot right now. And the leadership of the NBA, I don't know how this got approved. I have no idea how this got approved. And somebody needs to make it make sense. Somebody needs to make it make sense. Because honestly, I'm not plugged into the NBA at all. This may be the first year I don't pay attention to much of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Like Jake has still not apologized on the show. for horrible things he said about Alex Bregman, who just continues to hit bombs in spring
training.
And Jake continues to say that Alex Bregman's washed and he sucks and still hasn't apologized for that. I'm much more plugged into, FTR breaking Jake's balls over Alex Bregman than I am
And TGL.
And TGL, and stuff, than I am strip clubs in the NBA. And I love the NBA. I am a huge Lakers fan. And I'm not paying attention because it's just such a bad product right now.
Yeah.
It is. And I know that's not popular, and I know that's not what people want to hear about the NBA. The NBA is a bad product. Luka's bad for the Lakers. LeBron needs to retire. Like, you look across this league, there are no superstars on and off the court. There's no Jordan. There's no Magic.
No
none
synergy.
Of that.
None.
And I think that the lack of gravitational personalities in the NBA is only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that league needs it. The NFL doesn't need it. The NFL, you wear a helmet, you're largely anonymous, play it on the field, great. The NBA, we need personalities, and right now we don't have them.
Yeah, and I think NFL guys do a plenty good enough job in the media of saying things that keeps the league turning. And the interest in the NFL is just, look, it's straight up. It's just there's more interest in the NFL than there is in the NBA. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Lived in the ATL for 6 years, and MLS, it's not the MLS, please. Do you guys understand what a trigger this is for Major League Soccer fans?
Iraq.
You don't say the Iraq, you say MLS. Take the out, Muldoon. If you're going to talk MLS, let's at least talk MLS. I would agree that even in Atlanta, the Hawks are not hot. Oh, James, spinning things. I'm not endorsing a strip club.
Yes, you are, bro. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, dude. If you're going to transact with the strip club in any form or fashion, you're endorsing the strip club. No?
They should, if the wings are that good, they should open up a store and make a Wingstop fighter.
Right, but why would they do that? They want you to come inside and pay your hard-earned
money,
bro.
Whoa. It's a family show, Jake.
Come on, dude.
You can't say that on this show.
Are you raising your voice at me?
And James doesn't come inside the strip club. He would never do that. No
redos.
The biggest load that we've seen.
What I mean, the point is, dude, you're happy to support them financially, but you won't go inside. See how I changed the word to go inside?
Go inside, right.
You won't go, James. I'm not
not going to a strip club.
Right, but you're willing to support them financially by buying their wings.
Pay that man his money.
You're willing to pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money.
You're willing to do that. Right? Maybe you should just check. Right? Ask Teddy KGB before you pay that man his money.
Pay that man his money.
Right?
Dude.
Tell me
James,
I'm wrong.
How do you do this every day?
Tell me,
dude? Honestly, like, it needs to be pointed out that this is what you're rolling up to the back door in, dude. Like, you're not. I just want to preface this by saying, if you look at the Magic City picture I've got for us today, and here, let me get James's comment off the screen here. Note the Ferrari over here, the white car. That's a Ferrari, James. Not a Honda. Okay. I just want to point that out. Okay.
And I'd also like to point out, you're not getting inside anything while driving that Honda.
Come on, dude.
Oh man, dude. That's incredible. Honestly, it's incredible.
Oh, look at that. Calamoni gifts 20 Monty Show memberships. Calamoni,
nice.
What's up? Good to see you, Calamoni. How about Tosh Lapoy going all in on Cal yesterday? Like, focusing on their great facilities. Like, if Tosh Lapoy wins games, look out.
Mm-hmm.
Look out.
Yeah, he did a whole video about their facilities and stuff. I think it was over the weekend. Facilities don't look too bad. I mean, office rooms and stuff he was pointing out. So
he would go if they were giving out free books for the Kindle. James would be rolling up dirty. Yes, he would. Yes, he would. You could have gotten one lemon pepper wing for that $5 super chat. There you go. There, and I appreciate the $5, not as much as I appreciate the 20 Monty Show memberships.
Yes.
But my next car will be a Subaru. Oh, well, then you can get into the script club. Then you can get into the script club. But that is not enough to get you invested in Smash Capital. And this is going to be one of the defining moments of the offseason in college football. All of these representatives from these power schools meeting with Smash Capital yesterday to talk about an injection of private equity money into their equations and bottom lines in college football. And I am warning you right now, this is not how you fix college football. I know everybody's on board, and I see all the talking heads saying that, Smash Capital, and this is exactly what, the major P4 conferences should be doing, and the Big 12 is vulnerable, and how can the Big 12 not be, opening up the coffers to Smash Capital? This is a mistake. I'm just going to tell you that plain and simple. You are not going to generate enough revenue where Smash Capital's private equity is going to make a difference for you. And there's a reason that all of these rich dudes are so singularly focused on pooling your media rights. And I've put a lot of time and a lot of effort into understanding the pros and cons of pooling media rights. And I am telling you right now, guys like Smash Cap and the stuff that they are proposing, notice that their one sheet, they have an answer for everything. It is 2026, and most of this media rights stuff that just started, these grant of rights and these contracts that won't expire until early in the 2030s, like 2032 through 2034. And as we reported exclusively on this show yesterday, sports television executives are a hard no on pooling college sports rights. And they're a hard no because they're not willing to open up these contracts to get it done. What does Smash Capital say about that? Oh, that's no big deal. We're just getting ready for 2034. So then why do we need an act of Congress right now? Why do we need to have all of our ducks in a row for 8 years down the line? Because you're trying to get your hooks into college athletics. Who needs Smash Capital more? College afterthoughts like the G6? Because they're the ones that need Smash Capital. The P4 does not need Smash Capital. What the P4 needs is to get rid of the dead weight. What the Big 12 needs is to get rid of the dead weight at Baylor and at Oak State. Get rid of the dead weight. Get rid of the dead weight at TCU. Get rid of the dead weight around this league that refuses to do what is necessary to win every single game of football. Get rid of the dead weight that refuses to invest in humanity to make sure, I don't know that you have like a commercial sales division at every university. Most of the Big 12 does not have that. You understand that, right? Most Big 12 universities do not have a commercial sales division. BYU does. Texas Tech does. Most of the Big 12 does not. They don't have a sales operation. And you're trying to convince me that injecting private equity into these universities, when you have presidents who aren't willing to do what needs to be done, when you have athletic directors who constantly get fired for bad acts, that private equity is going to fix that. Private equity is going to fix just shrugging off a DUI. Private equity is going to fix sexual assault scandals. Private equity is going to fix athletic directors putting their hands on players on the field and on the sideline. Private equity is not going to fix Dave Aranda still being a football coach in the Big 12. You can give them more money, and they're going to spend it poorly. That's the reality of the Big 12. You don't have to agree with me. But what you have to do is be real about where this conference is. The Big 12 is not a national player, not in football. Everything that Brett Yormark is doing, all the innovation, this push to monetize everything in basketball, that's at the conference level. Doing the Windex deal, that's at the conference level. How come every university is not pushing the envelope like the Big 12 is at the conference level? How come BYU? How come, like I even look at Texas Tech and what they're doing with innovation in their sports nutrition and strength and conditioning programs. Who are the only two doing that currently? That's BYU and Texas Tech. And who are the only two continuously winning in football and basketball right now? As a pair, who are the only two consistently winning in this conference? That'd be BYU and Texas Tech. Kansas can't play football. Arizona plays football okay. Houston isn't winning in basketball or football right now, and Iowa State's an absolute disaster in football. What innovation is happening in Ames in the athletic department? That's because most of this conference is along for the ride. So if you go with this belief, and if you don't know what Smash Capital is, let me explain it to you. Smash Capital, this is what they've put out. These are talking points as part of a presentation about, like, hey, we can't break existing media contracts. Look at the second bullet point there. No one is proposing to break existing contracts. The SBA-like protection enables legal coordination now so that schools, conferences, and a unified negotiation entity can do the years of governance, structural, and relationship work required before the next contract cycle begins in approximately 2034. So, and I know I am not smart, and I don't know anything about how business is done. But let me just understand this. College football changes day to day, and you're asking these universities in the Big 12 to sign on to something that is 8 years in the future. Does that seem like a savvy business move if you're the Big 12? Sign away your financial freedom 8 years in the future. You don't know what's going to happen 8 hours from now. And you want to sign away your financial future for 8 years? You want to sell out to daddy for something that might happen 8 years down the road.
Yes.
That seems very not smart. And I think the thing that I struggle with most here is that you have, again, and I don't mean to be obtuse, but I look at what Smash Capital is offering, and I just ask myself, where's the win at Smash Capital? And if somebody wants to jump in here and educate me, because I've talked to people in TV about it. Smash Capital is trying to get you to sign your commitments away 8 years from now so that they can take control of the TV industry. That's what they're trying to do. Do they have some good ideas? Yes. Codifying the existence of Olympic and women's sports. Very good idea. Very good idea. but I'm not willing to trade my TV rights 8 years down the road to make sure that we save women's and Olympic sports, which is fully in our own control right now to do so. So why would we? And then you look at what Brett Yormark has said. This is Brett Yormark being opposed to Smash Capital. I am not surprised. While I encourage collaboration and efforts to find solutions to challenges facing our industry, I take exception to the fact that Smash Capital, providing no novel concepts, is preying on the current vulnerabilities of many of our institutions with the primary goal of generating a significant double-digit return. If key stakeholders determine third-party resources are needed, I recommend we engage with the right thought leaders and the most established financial institutions. And again, I think the last line here is really important. A group Smash Capital is not part of. You understand that Smash Capital is just a group of dudes who are trying to take their billions and make more billions, which is why Cody Campbell is such a big fan. Birds of a feather, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm asking you is, do you really think injecting Smash Capital into a dysfunctional Big 12 leadership group fixes the Big 12? Because I'm here to tell you it's not going to fix the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, it's got wildfire written all over it. It's got disaster written all over it. And I think that I think you're exactly right. The Big 12's current predicament, if you will, of not being able to prove that they can be successful in the current format, it doesn't mean inherently then that you need to go to people like Smash Capital for some type of fix. Like, more money doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to run a better business unit or somehow become successful in the current format. And so then it's like, all right, well, the risk of bringing on private equity is high, in my opinion. I mean, we've had the private equity conversation for a long time. And, you know, I pre and post Cody Campbell's existence in college football, I think that conversation changed. And yeah, I would agree that Cody Campbell, for me, Cody Campbell for me is definitely a sour topic. You know, I think that Cody initially was kind of this guy that was a hero and spending money and everyone loved him. But now with this whole initiative to, you know, centralize TV media rights and all that, I just think people are a little burned on it. And I think that when you begin to understand why he supports Smash Capital and why they're trying to kind of work together and push the same direction. Well, I mean, it would make sense, right? Because if you think about what he's trying to do, Smash Capital is just trying to be the money engine behind efforts like his and others. And I think that's what I find challenging is that yeah, this league, the Big 12 specifically, is a league that hasn't found a lot of success in the CFP. And I think that it never recovered from Texas and OU leaving. And I think that the Big 12 had this opportunity to climb the ranks when Utah and the other schools joined after BYU had joined, because you had a couple of brands that, you know, people thought could compete. And that just flamed completely. And you were unable to capture that momentum and win and, like, you know, establish yourself at a higher level. And now you're heading the wrong direction. I mean, Houston's got a good basketball team, but they're not some prolific athletic department, right? Like, you know, West Virginia, heritage, but not really competitive. You know, like you look around this league, and I just think that there's not enough people that are trying to do what it takes. And that's why I say that this separation of power here needs to happen. The schools that want to compete in football shouldn't have to deal with or be held down or dragged down by these schools that are not interested. And again, it sounds harsh to say that, like, the G6 or anyone really below, you know, the power schools are also Rans, but in the bigger picture, they are. Like, I don't really care who you are. But if you're in the G6 right now, you're not. You don't have the power to affect change at all. And that's why I say it's not really about like, if you're good on the football field or not right now in the G6, it's about what you're going to do in the future. Because if Smash Capital is looking 8 years down the line and you're not, that should be a red flag to you. That should be a signal to you that you need to be thinking about this conversation a little bit differently. And that again is why I think that last line from Brett Yormark is so important to your point. Like understanding that, hey, if we did need external funds, if we did want some kind of cash injection, it wouldn't be from Smash Capital. We would go to like some iconic banking institution. We would go to a trusted, tried and true, reliable, reasonable institution to get something done, not to the hedge fund bros who are just looking to bring a company in, gut it, and make money and move along. And that's what I think. That's where I think when you start talking about ethics and morals and how the right way to do things and what's best for the Big 12, Smash Capital so clearly is not what's best for the Big 12 or really anything in college football. In my opinion.
Listen, that may be something in the future, but you have no track record amongst your presidents of capable operators. You have no track record amongst your leadership in this conference, the Big 12, of doing all that can be done to leverage athletics and make it the financial windfall that each of these universities needs it to be. Because make no mistake that college football and college basketball pay a lot of salaries and a lot of bills at almost every major university. And the Big 12 for decades has been plagued by mismanagement at the university level. They have been plagued by poor decision-making at the university level. And you look at college football, and this is one of the things that I know, again, is not popular, and most people don't agree with me. Most of the problems that college athletics have now have been born out of bad decision-making and poor leadership.
Yes.
The very fact that the Pac-12 no longer exists is poor decision-making and bad leadership.
What better example?
The very fact that Oklahoma and Texas, Nebraska, Missouri, Texas A&M, the very fact that none of them are in the Big 12, poor decision-making and poor leadership. And you want to take billions of somebody else's dollars and hand them to these people who make bad decisions and are bad leaders. And you think that's going to fix the issues in this conference? Because I've got news for you. That's not happening. When you continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, you almost always end up a loser. And that's what this conference is going to do. If you sign on to the Smash Capital agreement, I believe Brett Yormark will resign. If you sign on to the Smash Capital agreement, I believe that this conference will collapse under the weight of those billions of dollars. Because the leadership that is in place currently in this conference has no idea what to do with that money and does not give a rat's ass about winning college football games. They don't care about anything but the name on the side of the practice facility. They have no interest on what happens inside of it. None whatsoever. Now, am I telling you that college athletics on the whole is healthy? Certainly not at this moment. What you need is congressional action to create a new entity. What you need is to stop using college athletics as a charity and giving everybody a participation medal. Cut the fat. Make the G6 go and do their own thing. They don't have the financial capabilities at this moment to compete amongst the P4. Because the truth is, 65% of the P4 don't have the financial ability to compete with the other 35% of the P4. That's the reality of the world we live in. But yet what we want to do is we want to say, well, we deserve a seat at the table. Actually, you don't. Well, everybody should have. No, they shouldn't. No, they should not. The G6 needs Smash Capital. Why? Because they also need their own new entity. Nobody talks about it. Everybody wants to focus on the P4. The G6 need a new entity. The G6 need antitrust protections, and the G6 need their own championship season. They need their own playoff because they'll make more money. If we're all interested in making sure, and I think they said something like codifying the existence of the G6, all
People
in favor.
love that word.
All
People
in
love
favor
that word.
of codifying the existence of the G6.
Yeah.
Let's do that by creating their own playoff system, by creating a new entity that protects the assets and the rights of G6 universities and allows them to thrive at a lower financial threshold. That's what we need. And what we need is the exact same thing for the P4. We don't need them together. Oh, but we can't restrict or shrink, or nobody's shrinking anything. Do you not understand if you create and you codify the existence of the G6 and you create their own entity for the G6, it grows, it blossoms, it blooms, because they're not trying to spend the billions that Ohio State is. They're not out selling some fairy tale and some dream that they can't possibly bring to reality. And maybe that's what this is. I've been talking about this on social media for 2 weeks, I feel like.
Yeah.
Stop dreaming. All these are dreams and hopes and visions. No. How about you get into action and take pragmatic moves? Separate the G6, create their own new entity, give them protections and assets under the law. Then Smash Capital come in and fund a new playoff system for the G6. How about that? Okay, great. Now, how do you fix dysfunction like the Big 12? Well, you melt down the Big 12 football. You melt down Big 12 football. It goes away. So does the ACC in football. So does the SEC. So does the Big 10. Create a new entity in and of itself. And I don't believe that we need hundreds of teams in that new entity.
I was going to say, do you think as part of that process, there should be some sort of way to, some sort of option, a way to say, like, the obvious example is like, hey, there's a fee to join the new entity. But
I think, no,
short
not
of
at all.
that.
Not at all. I think if you're in the P4 now, you need an on-ramp and an off-ramp.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in, you should have to play by a very strict set of rules. Very much like the NFL, and I'll continue to say this. I've said it for 3 years now. Very much like the NFL. Salary caps. I absolutely believe that you need an executive structure at every university that is consistent and legislated, where you have GMs and you have assistant GMs and you have a management structure that's going to cost you this much money. You have a salary cap that encompasses all revenue paid to players. There's no side deals. There's no, hey, let's connect this player with this tree planting thing so that we can pay him extra money.
Tampering.
Let's not do that. Let's put into effect and like rigidly enforce rules and regulations about the structures of your football department, including a salary cap. Then you can go ahead and pool your media rights. Because without a new entity that has government protections, pooling your media rights isn't a thing. And when rich guys like Smash Capital and Cody Campbell tell you it is, call them liars, because they are. They can do nothing. As I said yesterday on this show, is it an accident that I report one day hey, the sports TV executives are meeting on a regular basis talking about whether or not it is possible to pool media rights. Do you think it's accidental that the day we report that and the week we've spent troving that information and building that network of information, you just think it's accidental that we report that, two other national outlets don't credit us but report word for word verbatim what we said 3 hours later, and then all of a sudden this Smash Capital memo just, which I would point out to you, and I don't know that we have the screenshot where it shows it, the Smash Capital memo, look what it says in the top left corner. Privileged and confidential.
Apparently not.
And that just gets leaked to the media the minute that we report that the major sports television companies are unwilling to open their contracts and are not in favor of pooling media rights in the current climate. What did I tell you was the only way that the sports television industry is willing to pool media rights for college athletics? You remember what I said? Our sources told us the only way that that can happen is if a new entity is created with legislative government protection. You know who else has legislative government protection? Every major sports league, with the exception of the NCAA. Baseball's got it. Hockey's got it. The NFL's got it. The NBA's got it. Major League Lacrosse has it. But college sports doesn't have it. That's the thing you need. You don't need Smash Capital coming in and handing money to people who are just going to light it on fire. You don't need that. These are the mistakes that has put college athletics exactly where it is. And you want to throw bad money on top of bad money. I can't fix that. There's no fixing stupid. Right? You're all master's degree. Do you understand how many of these dumb fucks have MBAs? Do you understand how many of these people that routinely make the worst decisions in college athletics? Oh, look at my MBA. Look at all the pictures on the wall, framed my degree and this degree and that degree. And you're still a terrible operator of your university. I can't fix stupid. When you enable stupid people to continue to be stupid, because that's what they've done. The governance of college athletics for decades has made stupid decision after stupid decision, has burned money, has not fired Mike Gundy, has not fired Dave Aranda, has not fired Sonny Dykes, has not for decades and decades and decades. And now you want to hand them billions and enable them to continue to act in that exact same fashion. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. And why are we here? I want to remind you, what is the genesis of all of the problems that we currently have? The billionaires didn't want to pay young black athletes money. They wanted to oppress these athletes, which they did for decades and decades and decades, because they're not smart. They're greedy. Any university president will say yes to Smash Capital. And here's how you know, before I get to the comments section. You want to know why this is such foolishness? Smart people put leaders in place. And when they put a leader in place, they listen to him. You have a guy in Brett Yormark who you've put in place. Almost unquestionably, everything he's done for the Big 12 has turned to gold. We'll see how this basketball court thing goes, but he's already made money on it with Windex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a question. Everything Brett Yormark has done is turned to gold. And he's telling you this is a mistake. Smash Capital, a group of former TV executives, remember that. Marcus and I were talking about the people in that group. These are smart people who know how to make money for themselves. Go find me the guy inside of Smash Capital who makes everybody money and distributes their wealth to the needy.
Yeah, I know that Smash Capital labels themselves as a charity, right?
That doesn't exist. None of these dudes at Smash Capital are in this for anybody other than the dudes at Smash Capital. Your guy that you hired and put in place to lead you into the future and show you how to do the right things is telling you, don't do this. Not with these dudes. This is a mistake. He knows all of them. He's worked with all of them. And he's telling you, don't do this. This is a mistake. And you're going to ignore him. And then he's going to resign as your commissioner. And then you're going to wonder where it all went wrong. Mark my words. March 4th, 2026. You get into bed with that dog and you get fleas, Brett Yormark is going to resign. That is my guess. That is my guess.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's get in to your comments. And again, Calamoni, awesome. I really appreciate you guys. Become a member of the show. It really helps the channel grow. We're going through a thing before I get to the comments section. I don't know if we're just having a moment with YouTube. They are suppressing a lot of our content right now. And it is very odd that as we've talked about certain world events, notice that our views have gone from like 5,000 per video to hundreds per video.
Mm-hmm.
Notice that. We have 210,000 subscribers or whatever it is on this channel. We have a video that's got 349 views.
Quick sidebar to that point for you guys in the comments section as we talk about this college football thing. How much do you watch YouTube versus how much do you watch like TikTok or a different platform? Because there's been a lot of conversations, I feel like, amongst viewers and just in general about like which platforms are heading the right direction, which are not. And YouTube's been one of those where the suppression thing is not unique to us. That's something that's been going on for a lot of creators on YouTube. And I think that
Yep.
While I have big ethical issues with TikTok, there's no question that it is prolific. And I would be interested to know, you know, if the show was streamed on TikTok, let's say, if that would be a better solution for you guys rather than YouTube. I would be curious about that.
Phil Venzer says, we're not, I think you mean we are not an afterthought at UNLV. I resent that. You are an afterthought.
Yeah.
With all due respect, with all the great things UNLV is doing, because UNLV is doing a lot of great things. The money that they've been able to generate in the last 6 months is, what was that, bro?
My door closed. I think there's a window open I'm not aware of.
Your whole,
it shook my wall.
Wow.
Yeah,
the UNLV's been doing great stuff. Great stuff. You're an afterthought. The G6 isn't. Nobody knows Utah State. Nobody knows. This is the Pac-12's problem. Like Yogi Roth the other week talking about how, you know, the Pac-12 is going to, what did he say? You look at the best teams in this league, I believe they'll find themselves in the college football playoff.
No, they won't.
He believes that. Yogi Roth believes that. And I believe that I'm 150 pounds and I have a six-pack of abs. You know. I don't do TikTok or Instagram. Oh, I love TikTok. I'm on TikTok constantly. I am YouTube only, but this is mostly because of you guys. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, one of the limiting things with TikTok for us is we use Apple machines to run this show. And TikTok has not been able to integrate with Apple yet. So
Nope.
that's one of the reasons we don't live stream on TikTok currently.
Yep. It's kind of a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
honestly. Calamoni's the GOAT. Yes, he is. Bobby Fowler. Sorry I'm behind, but what is Smash Capital? It's a group of former television executives and hedge fund guys. They do private equity. And they are trying to leverage their billions into college athletics. So maybe it is just me, but Smash Capital sounds like some name, a bro talk name. Well, it is a bro talk name.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. And that's why I don't understand again, it's so funny. Like you run an institution, you run an educational institution, yet all you're after is money. And that's the thing that's hilarious in all of this is that these people running these institutions only care about money. Like you take, even if you're looking at like Michigan or like you're looking at schools that have drama, like you not doing anything about it because all you care about is money. And again, when you're chasing money, it's just going to be the downfall of your whole business, dude.
Yep.
Like that's the problem.
Yep. I agree with that. I trust Brett Yormark. If he says it's bad, then we should stay away from it. You need to go and research why it's bad. Once you get into,
dude, they don't want to do that. That's the problem.
No. And this is what bad leaders do. You put somebody in place and you don't allow them to lead.
Yeah.
Brett Yormark almost across the board has been solid gold. And now he's telling you this is bad. And you're like, yeah, fuck off. We're doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah. We're doing it anyway. I'm tired of this bad Cody Campbell talk. It smacks of jealousy like those that don't like Shedeur Sanders and Greg Sankey. Cody Campbell is not a bad guy. Cody Campbell is not a bad actor. Cody Campbell, in my opinion, is not equipped to do what needs to be done. In my opinion, is Cody Campbell is trying to use his money, his wealth, to make people do things that they don't want to do. And that's great on an oil field in West Texas. But in a boardroom in Bristol, Connecticut, it doesn't really work that way.
No.
So you can be a billionaire and you can have people pander to you, the Pat McAfees of the world, the Donald Trumps of the world, and you can be invited to the White House only because you're a billionaire. If Cody Campbell wasn't a billionaire, would we know his name?
Nope.
No.
Ryan
Would his ideas be good? No, because we wouldn't know about his ideas. Ryan Smith's a very good example. Ryan Smith would be the awkward dude who likes to play golf, such as unlike myself. But yet you're looking at guys like Ryan Smith who only gets a free pass because he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Money affords you affluence. Money, I'm telling you, when you walk into a room and you put your wallet on the floor and then you stand on top of it and you're taller than everybody else, nobody cares about your resume. All they care about is your money. Ryan Smith isn't a cool bro, dude. He's rich. Cody Campbell doesn't have groundbreaking, unbelievable ideas. He's rich.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Capital does not have some new fangled thing that's going to save college sports. They're rich. It's as simple as that. Look at our current administration. Their ideas suck. They're rich. So you're prominent and you're in power. Because in our societies, money equates to affluence and power. It's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
Who's the last poor dude that's done amazing things? Well, that doesn't exist because the rich people suppress the poor people. That's what's happening in college athletics. And until we stop that, and until specific to the Big 12, until Baylor recognizes that Dave Aranda is a terrible football coach, which essentially they said, hey, we don't think we can hire anybody of note. So we're just going to let little Davy run the football program. This conference is going to suffer. This conference will, and Mike Smith yesterday said, I need to stop talking about the mullet. Why is Oak State a laughingstock of the Big 12? Because they have poor leadership. Why does TCU never win anything? Because they have poor leadership. Why does Baylor find itself in irrelevance in basketball and football? Because they don't win anything.
Yeah.
What do those three schools have in common? Terrible, awful, horrendous leadership. Why is K-State in the position that they're in? You can say it. Terrible, awful leadership. That's why. Oh, yeah. Chris Kleiman's a legend. He's not. Avery Johnson for Heisman. He's not. Right? But nobody's willing to say that in Manhattan. That's the issue. Nobody in Waco is willing to say Dave Aranda is a joke. Dave Aranda shouldn't be the head football coach at Waco, at Baylor in Waco. Nobody's willing to say that. Nobody would ever say we should fire Mike Gundy because he's admitted to drinking and driving and putting our public in danger. Nobody would say, hey, Kirby Smart should probably be suspended for a quarter of the season because his players keep speeding. Because, well, that's not going to go over well. That's going to hurt feelings. Who cares? Why does it matter that Mark Harlan humiliated Utah? We can't say that out loud. Well, yeah, you can. That's called courage and leadership. That's what we're lacking right now. Courage and leadership. But nobody will say that out loud.
Couldn't agree more, dude. Couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Nobody will say that out loud.
Yeah.
We let Neil Brown stay around 2 years too long, and one of those included an extension, but they got rid of him. Not going to keep blaming him for what happened on the field now. No. Again, I don't think this is a complicated thing. West Virginia has zero expectations. Nobody expects West Virginia. With all due respect, nobody expects West Virginia to be good. Does the Big 12 live and die on West Virginia football? No. If Oklahoma State were a national power in football, would the Big 12 be in a significantly better position? If TCU, which has now plummeted in football since, sign stealer guy and all that.
Mm-hmm.
If TCU had sustained that level of success, would this conference be in a significantly better position?
Sign stealer guy.
If Baylor had fired Dave Aranda 2 years ago when we told him to, and hired any of the other coaches in the college football world that has gotten hired. Like what you have to understand is Oklahoma State should be the foundation of the Big 12.
Yes.
Oklahoma State should be the linchpin that this conference relies on as the axis of its success. But for year after year after year, you allowed Mike Gundy to thrive, and that culture is pervasive. Not only in Stillwater, that culture of indifference. The reason I talk about Mike Gundy every day to this day when we talk about Big 12 football is because that mindset has infected this league. Sonny Dykes shouldn't be the head coach at TCU. And I like Sonny a lot. He has no business being the head coach at TCU. Like, I can go up and down the list. If Chris Kleiman hadn't resigned, would he have been fired? No.
No.
If Deion Sanders doesn't win this year, will he be fired? Probably not. Should he be? Yes.
But why wouldn't he be? Because he makes some money.
Yet, if Joey McGuire hadn't won the last 2 years, he wouldn't be there. If Kalani Sitake, I'm telling you, if Kalani Sitake hadn't made an unbelievable pivot to winning, he wouldn't be there. Right?
But he did.
They're the only two universities spending the money and making the hires repeatedly. And it's not just the Big 12. I am telling you, and he's not, Dan Lanning should be on the clock at Oregon. He's not. And he won't be. Dan Lanning can have that job as long as he wants, and I think he could have 6-8 win seasons, and he could have that job as long as he wants. Because this lazy-ass mentality of I don't want to fire the guy is pervasive amongst the mediocre football teams in this country, and now there's far too many of them. It's such a plague on college football. Look at Notre Dame. Will Marcus Freeman be fired if this is an 8-win team this year? Let's say that this Notre Dame team, whose only stated goal is to win a national championship. That's our only goal. They have put it out there. They have talked about it. They're putting out video. Undefeated national championship. Or what? Or what? Pete Bavacqua humiliated this university with his bullshit best 10-game winning streak ever. They win 8 games. Does Bavacqua get fired?
Bavacqua.
No. We'll pray for him. Does Marcus Freeman get fired? No. They win 8 games. Marcus Freeman will not be. No. He should be. Can Marcus Freeman recruit? Yes. What does recruiting mean if you don't win games? You're wasting those dudes. Simple as that. But that's the mentality that is pervasive across college football. And until that goes away, I'm going to keep fucking talking about Mike Gundy because that's the problem. Mike Gundy is the flagrant example. He's the blowtorch example. Like the guy didn't win, never won, condoned DUIs, didn't recruit, didn't in NIL, but we won't fire. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I mean Dabo Swinney? Yeah, that's right. We won't fire Dabo Swinney either. Because that's who we are. Yet Indiana will have Mark Cuban and will pay guys and will have a philosophy and a process and a plan in place that works so they recruit all their players and they won a national championship. And you're telling me Oak State can't do the same thing? Won't do the same thing. That's how I'd put it.
Agreed.
Nebraska is an interesting one. How mediocre has Nebraska been since Tom Osborne? Why is Trev Alberts not the athletic director at Nebraska? What did I tell you when he left Nebraska? And I know Trev pretty well from our TV days. Trev Alberts is focused on one thing. And it's the only thing any athletic director should be focused on: winning a national championship in college football. How many teams, and I'll stop my rant after this. How many teams in the Big 12 are focused on winning a national championship in college football? I think one. Texas Tech. One team in the Big 12 is focused on winning a national championship. Who else? BYU's not. BYU doesn't do everything they can do to win a national. They want to win games. I think BYU's focused on going to the college football playoff.
Agreed.
I don't think they're focused on winning a national championship.
And to double down on that, I would say they're focused on going undefeated, given the fact that they've been bounced twice for 1 or 2 lost seasons.
And no, they're not the same thing. Going to the college football playoff and winning a national championship are not the same thing. See Dan Lanning.
Yeah, but I think the difference, see, this is where I disagree with you about Dan, obviously, and we've talked about this, is that when we're going to use the label of mediocre, I think that there are levels to that, though. Like, you have teams that compete for national championships every year. We all know the usual suspects that we can rely on for that, Ohio State and others. Then you've got the group of schools that go to the CFP regularly, but haven't been able to get to that national championship level of competitiveness, but I wouldn't call those teams mediocre. I would call those teams, moneymakers that just, haven't figured out how to win national championships yet. Not a bad place to be. It's not the best place to be, but it's not, I wouldn't say that that's mediocre. I think any team that like BYU right now, I would call mediocre because you haven't gotten to the CFP. But the moment you get to the CFP, now you're having a different conversation because, again, the money you make from playing in CFP games separates you from a revenue standpoint from everybody else. Even if you just get one, that's better than getting none. And that's why I'm saying that the line in the sand for me is, are you in the CFP regularly or are you not in the CFP regularly? So unfortunately, I love what BYU is doing right now. I think that, Kalani's got them going the right way. As much as I have my hesitations about Bear Bachmeier, they're a mediocre team until they're in the CFP. And that's why I disagree about Dan, because I agree he's not winning natties and there's work to be done, but he is in the CFP regularly. And I think that puts him in a different class.
So all we need to do is get to the CFP.
Yeah, to make money. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But I'm not talking about making money. Making money, when you go to the college football playoff and you win a national championship, you make an ass load of money. So what should your goal be? To make money or to win a national championship? Your goal should be doing everything it takes to win a national championship. Dan Lanning's not doing that. Did Dan Lanning he just lost both of his coordinators. Did he do a national search and find the best guys to replace them? No, he stayed in-house.
Mm-hmm.
Does Dan Lanning beat good teams in the college football playoff? And I'm not saying Dan Lanning should be fired. I'm telling you, he either wins a national champ. And how many years does he get to lose in the college football playoff?
Well, he's only been there 5 years, and he's been to the CFP 3 times, I think.
Okay, so that's the bar now. What's the expectation then?
Well, yeah, but you're moving the bar on Dan.
I'm not moving. No.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
you are.
No, I am not.
Okay.
No, I am not. It's Oregon. They have all the assets that they need to win a national championship.
Right, and he just played two of the best teams in the history of college football.
Right, and he lost.
Right. That doesn't mean he's a bad head coach or he should be fired or they're not.
I didn't say he's a bad head coach. I didn't say he should be fired. What I said was Dan Lanning should be on the clock.
No chance. No.
Yes.
I'm not firing Dan Lanning.
Who said to fire Dan Lanning?
You're saying he should be on the clock. What does that mean?
You have to perform in the college football playoff now. When you get there every year, it's not good enough to just get there anymore. This is the problem in Oklahoma State.
No, the problem in Oklahoma State is they won't even put a roster together.
How many times are we going to talk about Oklahoma? Mike Gundy won 10 games every year. Cool. What does that mean?
It means he didn't get to the CFP like Dan Lanning.
It means he doesn't win. It means he wins 10 games. Oh, well, that's cool. Let's give him an extension. We're not in an era anymore where we can where getting there is enough. It's not enough. Not when you've been there. For BYU, should Kalani Sitake and Dan Lanning be on the same plane? Should they be on the... No, because Kalani Sitake hasn't gotten to the college football playoff. He hasn't. And I would also tell you another reason they shouldn't be viewed through the same lens. Kalani Sitake's got far more hurdles in his way with the church and with the honor code and the limitations in recruiting. Dan Lanning has none of those. Dan Lanning can get any athlete he wants, doesn't do it. Dan Lanning can get pretty much any perk that is needed. Travel. They travel in style. Uniforms, Nike, Jordans, facilities, TV. He's got it all. Well, he's in the college football playoff every year. Contract extension. You've got, at some point, I don't know. Maybe I'm just over the top of it. I'm the only one who ever says Marcus Freeman's an average ass head coach.
Yeah, because I think you're forgetting that while yes, he's made mistakes, it's you're so the issue I have is you're criticizing, like you're saying, hey, Gundy was always a 10-game winner and that wasn't good enough, which I agree with because you weren't consistently in the CFP and you never competed for national championships.
Correct.
But you can't say that and then be like, well, hey, Dan's getting there, but if he doesn't win a national championship this coming season, then he should be on the clock, which is to say, if you're going to say a guy is on the clock, that means that you're saying that they should consider firing him and look for somebody else. That's what that means.
No, what I'm saying when I say he's on the clock, don't give him another contract extension until he raises the bar to another level. Get to the college football playoff.
Okay,
final.
are you? If you fire Dan Lanning, who are you going to go? Who would you go and try and get?
You're Oregon. You're Oregon. You should be able to hire any coach in the country.
But you and I both know that that's a completely unrealistic thing to say.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Well,
you're telling me that if the Oregon football job is open, you can't call any coach in the country.
Yeah, but this is what you said about LSU, right? Like, yeah, cool. If your job is open, you can call anybody. That doesn't mean anybody's going to take it. That doesn't mean that any coach is going to leave the post.
Right, LSU got Lane Kiffin.
Because Lane Kiffin was at a school that's not as competitive as LSU and doesn't have the same access.
Ole Miss was going to play for a national championship, for crying out loud.
Okay, well, yeah, I would contend that you're extremely biased against Dan Lanning for what he's done.
Because he doesn't win.
Right, but he wins more than 90% of head coaches in college football.
Right. Like
and
this is what Kirk Cignetti has. This is what Kirk. No, it's not. This is what Kirk Cignetti has done to college football. He's a better coach than Dan Lanning. He has a better process and a better plan than Dan Lanning does. I'm not saying Dan Lanning's a bad coach or should be fired. He's been to the college playoff multiple times now. Is that good enough anymore?
Yes, it's what every program's trying to do. It's the same conversation. It's the exact same conversation as any sporting team that gets to the playoffs regularly and doesn't win, but then finds their way to a national championship and then goes on a run. I can't believe that we have to sit here and talk about that Oregon, if he doesn't win a national championship, should be on the clock. I just disagree completely. I think that in today's college football landscape, if you're going to the CFP, you can't just take that for granted. I understand that there's a difference between the CFP and a national championship and stature and programs. I agree with that, and I've said that repeatedly. But I'm not going to sit here and start talking about Dan going anywhere until bro stops going to the CFP and stops being a 2-loss team or 1-loss team in the Big Ten.
They're not talented enough. They're not good enough defensively. He has lost 2 coordinators. I'm telling you, if that job is open, pick the coach outside of Kirby, probably Lane Kiffin.
Ryan Day's not going. Lane Kiffin's not going. Kirby's not going.
Right. Those guys are institutions at their universities. Like, those are multi-time national champions. And Lane just took Ole Miss. Essentially, if he was there, I think, go to the national championship.
Okay. So if those guys aren't available to you, then we can stop saying the best head coaches are available to you, because those are the best head coaches in college football. 100%. We all agree on that. That's not in dispute.
But what school can hire Kirby Smart?
Only schools that have access to national championships.
Where's Ryan Day going?
Nowhere.
So what you're saying is nobody's hiring those guys. But my point is, who's a coach that got hired? Kyle Whittingham. If the Oregon job was open and Kyle Whittingham went to Oregon.
No, I wouldn't expect him. I wouldn't expect him to do what Dan's doing, mainly because he hasn't done it. Well, and I think that if you go to, like, Michigan's a great case study. If Witt doesn't see a national championship inside of 3 seasons, what are you going to say about him? Because you're a big Witt guy. You've said that Witt's a better head coach than Dan.
I think if Kyle Whittingham doesn't win a national champion, doesn't win the Big Ten, because this is a really interesting conversation. Look at the staff he's built at Michigan. If Bryce Underwood doesn't compete for a Heisman Trophy this year or next year, I'd be surprised. And if he isn't substantially better, they will not have him there. He will transfer. That's my guess. If Kyle Whittingham doesn't take Michigan to a Big Ten championship, probably not this year. I think there's still a lot of noise there, and I think he's having to rebuild the depth of talent there, because I think Butterknives left that cupboard completely empty. I think this year we'll see what they do.
Mhm.
A year from now, I would expect Kyle Whittingham to have a substantially more talented roster because he's going to have a recruiting class and a portal window. And he's got elite recruiters on his staff. Okay, great. If a year from now, Kyle Whittingham's roster is not significantly more talented and his defense is not one of the best three defenses in the country, I'd be stunned. I'd be stunned.
Right, but what's the indictment on Kyle Whittingham?
Well, that indictment went away when he hired Jason Beck.
Yeah, well, that didn't really do much for them offensively, though. They struggled
Are you
offensively.
out of your mind?
No, I'm not out of my mind. He didn't have receivers.
Utah struggled offensively.
Yes.
No, they did not.
Utah what was the Texas Tech game?
Utah had, well, Texas Tech was one of the top 5 defenses in the country.
Okay.
And I agree with you. He didn't hit skill position wise. He didn't have wide receivers. Their offense was a dominant run offense with arguably the best offensive line or one of the best offensive lines in the country. That's the best offense that Kyle Whittingham ever had at Utah this past year. That was a dominant physical unit. And I agree with you that they didn't have skill positions. Their offense was not bad at Utah. Their biggest problem was they did not have explosiveness on the outside. He will not have that problem at Michigan. That will not be an issue for him at Michigan. Right? I don't know why I didn't think of this. Steve Sarkisian.
Not the head coach that Dan Lanning is in today's era.
No, he's not. Because he doesn't win the biggest games. And you just fired one of the best defensive coordinators in the country in Pete Kwiatkowski, who's now an NFL coach, I would point out.
Mm-hmm.
And if Will Muschamp, who's been a complete failure as a head coach, doesn't build a better defense than you've had, which is going to be tough because all they do is defend and put dudes in the NFL at Texas. That's all Pete Kwiatkowski did. So good luck getting back to the top of that mountain. That's a guy who, if Steve Sarkisian doesn't win a national championship with Arch Manning, he should be on the clock at Texas. Because where is the bar higher than at the University of Texas? Nowhere. He's got all the talent. You want to talk about quality wide receivers, quarterbacks. They fixed their running back room this offseason. You've got defensive dude for days. Come on. Did Utah go to the Big 12 championship game in a watered down conference? Well, I don't think it was watered down.
Yeah, but they had injuries, and that's not the point, dude. The point is that we're sitting here trying to ratio Dan Lanning and say that he's not doing enough.
Not winning the biggest games. It's not that Dan Lanning's not doing enough.
Well, isn't that the same thing?
No. Here are my 2 biggest criticisms. He's not talented enough on his roster, and he doesn't win big games. Those are my 2 big criticisms. It's great you're going to the college football playoff. You got boat rate last year. Okay, cool. You beat a couple. Texas Tech's a good football team. Was Texas Tech one of the 5 best teams in the country this year? Clearly they were not. And I guess it shouldn't matter. That's a P4 team in the college football playoff, and Dan beat them.
And a lot of people thought they were going to beat Oregon.
Cool. Now it's time for Dan Lanning to go to a national championship game. And if he doesn't, Oregon fans should be disappointed because Phil Knight ain't going to live forever. That's my point on Dan Lanning. And we got to raise the bar. Why are we so scared? And I'll talk about Marcus Freeman. Why are we so scared to say if Marcus Freeman doesn't win a national championship, it's a disappointing season? Why is that outlandish? Notre Dame should be competing for a national championship every single year, yet never does. Okay, we went to the national championship game and lost to Ohio State. And then missed the college football playoff altogether? You weren't victims, you just weren't good. But yet, Marcus Freeman man, he's the best head coach. Wow. No, he's not. And now it appears, and maybe I'm wrong, but now it appears that Marcus Freeman has had the light turned on. And so we're all in on, hey, day one, our football season ended, off-season program starts 15 minutes after the whistle. And now we're all lifting weights together. And now we're squatting large school buses in the weight room. And we're eating like unbelievable robots and machines. And our guys at the combine are running like the wind. And we're all motivated and we're recruiting and we're portaling like nobody's business. And, well, where's that been for the last 3 years?
Yeah, there's a process to learn how to win a national championship. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
I would agree with that. There is definitely a process.
I also think that the obvious elephant in the room is Curt Cignetti's almost 70 years old and has been doing this for, must be 40 years, 30 years. I mean, he's been in the game that long.
But at what level? Kirk Cignetti caught lightning in a bottle. Mark Cuban brought his billions. They went and portaled well. They figured out what I've been telling people for 5 years. Do not rely on 17-year-old high school seniors to win you a national championship. Go and get older players. Portal. The portal is where you win a national championship. Anybody heard of Fernando Mendoza? Oh, he was a high school senior, and they went and got him, and he came in as a true freshman and won it. No, actually, that's not true. Fernando Mendoza is an old man. How did Indiana, you remember back at the stadium 2 years ago, how did Indiana lose to Notre Dame? You relive the greatness. How did Indiana lose to Notre Dame? They couldn't throw the football down the field. So what did you do? You portaled a quarterback and you won a national championship. It's not rocket science. How come Dan Lanning hasn't done that? How come Dan Lanning can't find dudes who can get to the quarterback? One of the worst quarterback pressure teams in the country. Anyway, let me read your comments. Lambert stopped his X account because of what he posted. It was from an article dating back a couple of years ago. Stay away from Drake Toll. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Right above them, there's two comments about people reporting about West Virginia and TCU and all these schools moving. Usual troll stuff.
Anybody telling you that West Virginia's joining the ACC doesn't know what they're talking about. I'm not even going to justify that kind of stupidity with anybody that thinks TCU is joining the ACC. I can't fix stupid.
It's called clickbaiting, dude.
I do not know too many that have said Marcus Freeman is the best. Oh my God. Are you out of your mind? We just had a graphic like last week where wasn't Marcus Freeman like number 3 on that graphic or something? I'm pretty sure we had a graphic of the best college football coaches just the other day where I think it was Joel Klatt, right? Who had Joel Klatt best college football coaches. Joel Klatt had a graphic where I think he had Marcus Freeman like top 5. I'm pretty sure it was 5th. I'll find it here. Here it is. Don't know too many who say Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman, let's be very clear. Marcus Freeman, the only thing he has more of than assets and resources to win games is excuses why he has not. And everybody puts him up as the 5th best coach. Here's Joel Klatt last week. Dan Lanning, the 4th best coach in college football. You're crazy. The absolute filleting of Marcus Freeman. Come on. Oh, he's a dumbass though. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Right. It just doesn't matter. You can't, it's fine. By you, I mean anyone making the argument. What do you mean? Excuses only work for the narrative and the argument you are making. Well, I just think, okay. YouTube is bad about removing or demonetizing content for silly reasons. I know a lot of content creators I used to watch concerning pew-pews have moved on because of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've pondered. Not the show will always be on YouTube. It's not like we're not going to do YouTube, but I think that the suppression of content is tough to deal with when those particular topics are, things that people want to talk about. And I'm with all of you guys that are uncomfortable with TikTok in terms of privacy issues and things like that. But it gets to a point where it's like, dude, if we live stream the show every day on TikTok, it wouldn't be long before we had a pretty serious following on TikTok. And I think that's what's difficult.
But again, I post probably a video or two every day on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I posted a video the other day about Zepbound, which is a no-no. A no-no.
On TikTok?
Yes. It got
Why is it a no-no on TikTok?
I don't know. 32 views. My average views are between 300 and 1,000.
Yeah.
All of my, I posted a video about talking about yesterday, dreaming and dreaming versus doing. 76 views. Zepbound, 32 views. A video I posted on 2 weeks ago about Zepbound, 48 views. There is no question that the limiting and the repression of certain topics on TikTok is massive. Massive. There's no doubt about that. I use YouTube, TikTok dirty, X dirty, can't get into Instagram. I hate X.
Yeah.
I hate it. I do YouTube and X occasionally for recruiting news, and that's it. Yeah, X is terrible. I'm only here on YouTube for the Monty Show. Damn right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that it's interesting, like the way people use social media and YouTube and things like that. Like, you're either pro YouTube or anti YouTube. Like, it's very much like it's not YouTube's okay. It's more like I either hate it or I love it, or or like welcome to the nightmare. I'm only here for this one thing and I don't use YouTube for anything else. And that's what's really interesting is like I agree suppression happens on every platform, but the thing that I think is interesting about TikTok right now is it's obviously a younger demo, and TikTok is pushing live streaming stuff hard. They really want that segment. So we'll see. I mean, maybe again, like I said, it's not that we don't want to live stream on TikTok. It's more of a machine issue. I mean, I could easily get a $400, $500 like mini PC or something that would allow us to do it. We just haven't done it yet.
I watched the show. I watched show on YouTube. Okay, playa. Okay. The last thing the Big 12 needs is to go against what Brett Yormark is saying. He has been amazing, and if you lose him, the conference will be in shambles.
Yeah, but the conference is already in shambles, and that has nothing to do with Brett. Like, Brett's done everything he can do.
Yeah. Bryce Martin, I love Cody Campbell when he's funding Texas Tech sports, but everything else I kind of tune out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are on that. Operation Epic Bro Talk names. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or you put bad leadership in like Pac-12 did for all those years and let USC and UCLA walk. Yes. Ryan Smith, behind the scenes, controls 85% of the weed business in Utah. I'm sure he probably does. Anything that makes money, right? Can't keep blaming Gundy when he's no longer there. Blame the university. Fine. It's the leadership there now. Sure. I love Avery Johnson. I would vote for him if I had a Heisman vote. Exactly. It's baffling in the modern era of pay for play that Stanford is in the best athletic program in the country. The reason they're not leadership. Well, and they value education. Stanford doesn't care if you ever win a game. And their endowment is massive. I would agree. If any team would step up in the Big 12, it would help. Not just a few teams, all of them. I mean, it would be incredible. Just give me one. you know, most Big 12 teams do not have the money of the majority of the Big 10 or the SEC. They just do not. A few do, but most don't. But you don't need Ohio State money to compete with Ohio State. What you need is to have a commercial sales department. Build a business unit. Right? Like it's Pastor James White pleasuring himself to videos of facilities being built. Right? Like you look at all of the facilities at BYU and Texas Tech, they're elite. There's a reason that they're winning. They have money. They have donors. If you don't have a donor base, you're going to struggle. And West Virginia is in a very down economic area of our country. It's very difficult. I don't disagree with that. Look at Nebraska. If you want to see a program, yes, that's true. Saying Oregon should consider firing Lanning is crazy because they were on the doorstep to a natty and he's been there less than 5 years. Are they on the doorstep to a natty? I think there's a lot of questions about why he promoted the guys he promoted. Will Stein and Tosh Lapoy were pretty good at their jobs, and you didn't do a national search. You just hired a couple of dudes in your program. We'll see. Over half of Big Ten are bad, even with all that money. Yeah, it's not money.
Yeah, they don't want to be good. That's the problem.
Money. Yeah, money is not what determines wins and losses on the field. Plays a role. It's not. Leadership at your university, I think, is far more impactful on the field than money. But those teams have money, so they do not have the same problems. Difference between wanting to spend more money and able to spend more money. I would agree with that. How many ACC teams? How many teams in the ACC are going for a national championship? Miami and Florida State. Miami, Florida State. I think Clemson would like to, but Dabo's standing in the way. You know, you get what you tolerate. Good to great book. Yeah, you get what you tolerate. I mean, it's as simple as that. You know, Witt has not even done as much as Lanning, but he seemed to be good enough for you. Well, I think Kyle Whittingham has done way, way, way more than Dan Lanning. What Kyle Whittingham, the obstacles in Kyle Whittingham's way, and the things he overcame with NIL, not having NIL. Do you guys understand that for many, many years to start, Utah their NIL stuff was run by their players like Britton Covey. Didn't have an NIL department. Just didn't have one. When we did an event where we had Utah players come out, Brant Keithy and several others, we had to call them directly. They didn't have an NIL department, a coordinator, staff, nothing. The obstacles there are real. Teams that are really trying to win a natty, results aside, Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Michigan, USC, Texas Tech, Miami, maybe Clemson, FSU, Notre Dame, Georgia, Texas, A&M, LSU, Bama, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee. I would agree with those. What about USC? Lincoln Riley has done nothing, and he almost got fired. And look what happened. He's for 2 straight years had the best recruiting classes, top portal classes. You know, the clock should be ticking on Lincoln, and it is. You know, match up throwdown.
Subi bro. Yeah.
Subi bro.
Yeah.
I think what Monty is trying to say, Jake, is you need to treat these big program college coaches like an NFL coach. Making the playoffs only keeps your job for so long. Sean McDermott, for example. That's not a bad analogy. If Kyle Whittingham went to Oregon, would they win the Natty? I don't know. They would be. I don't think that. Listen, I'm not saying that Dan Lanning's a bad coach, but I think you have to put him in focus. You have to understand that he, to this point, has shown you he's not capable of winning a national championship. Kyle Whittingham has shown you that. I'm not saying either one of them is a bad coach. There is no better hire this cycle than Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. He is the exact guy they needed. Right? That's a better hire than Lane Kiffin getting to LSU. I think because of the circumstances and the totality of just how dregs of society Michigan is.
Yeah. I mean, if they don't fire Ward Manuel, I think it's null and void. I think it just doesn't matter that they hired Witt.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can't have Ward Manuel continue there.
Yeah.
You just can't. Ryan Day was getting raked over the coals until he finally won the Natty. By this landing logic, Monty is saying Day should have been fired. Oh, we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it. What saved him? Chip Kelly and Buddy from K-State, Will Howard. I mean, Scott, I hate Oregon more than life itself, but Lanning is doing a great job and should not be in the discussion to be fired. I'm not saying he should be in the discussion to be fired today. But at what point aren't you at a level at Oregon now where you expect to win the national championship and going to the college football playoffs just not good enough? Or no?
I think you do expect to win national championships. I would agree with that. But I don't think there's ever a time and place in college football where not that you're saying it's bad to go to the CFP, obviously, but like I just think there's a middle ground that you don't like to, it's just not how you go about it. I think that these schools and these athletic departments, I think it's a dangerous game if you're an athletic department, Oregon aside, any athletic department. It's a dangerous game to play when you have a coach that's consistently getting to the CFP and you're getting revenue from that to get to a place where you may or may not take that for granted. And I think that there have been programs in the past that have done that. Like I think Ohio State was doing that with Ryan Day. Taking that for granted. I think the guy that no one wants to talk about is James Franklin. Look what happened to Penn State when they fired James Franklin. Not the same, and you're not going to be the same. I don't believe that Matt Campbell is going to do anything at Penn State. I think that Matt did a great job with Iowa State, but I think he's playing in a much deeper pond.
You don't think Matt Campbell raises the bar or none of that?
I think Matt Campbell is going to have a really good defense, and I think that Matt Campbell is going to struggle massively to recruit offense at Penn State. That's what I think, and I think that it was okay your quarterback was Rocco Becht at Iowa State, but that's not going to be good enough at Penn State. And the only saving grace for him at Penn State is that he will get several years to figure it out. And hopefully he does. But I'm just telling you that there's value in consistently being in the CFP. There is more value in winning national championships, of course, as there is in any sport with any coach. But I'm not going to sit here and do anything other than say, yeah, the expectation is national championships at Oregon. He hasn't proven the ability to do that yet. He's also only been in it for 5 years, and I think that matters when you compare him to Kirby Smart and Ryan Day and these other guys who have had more success. And, I think that he what would it take for Dan Lanning to be on the hot seat or to be on the clock in reality, in my opinion? I think you'd have to have 2 seasons in a row where you're not in the CFP. You'd have to have just seasons that are just terrible. You're doing an awful job. Like you're not relevant in the Big Ten, that type of material for 2 seasons for him to be fired. But, again, we'll see. Maybe he falls off. Maybe you're right. I mean, maybe not doing a national search for the coordinators comes back to get him. I don't know, but that remains to be seen. So that's why I say if he comes out this year and he's, he gets 1 game further in the CFP, he's making progress. If he doesn't make the CFP at all, then you got to talk about him. That's how it works.
Okay. There's an argument in the comments section about where Utah's offense. Will Witt ever have an offense? Utah had a top 6 offense, if I'm not mistaken, statistically. Looking at the numbers, the Utah Utes were 4th nationally in total offense with 482.9 yards a game. 4th nationally in scoring offense. Like you guys, I am telling you, Utah's offense was not a problem this year. They dominated people on the ground. They could not throw the ball down the field because they didn't have skill position players.
So if the logic we're going with is like basically, hey, just because you got there, that doesn't mean it's good enough, right?
Right.
That's what we're saying about Dan. I would contend with Utah's offense. Were they better? Yes, of course. Jason Beck, you got a better quarterback. You got, you clearly were better offensively. You weren't competitive against Texas Tech. You were not competitive in any way, shape, or form against that team. So I don't were they better? Sure. Did it matter? No. And that's where I say, like, we're sitting here wondering about Bryce Underwood. Like, I don't think the dude's gonna be a Heisman contender.
Well, he's gonna make or break right now because Jason, the upside potential of Bryce Underwood will be realized. He's either at his ceiling or he's going to get to his ceiling because Jason Beck's a quarterback guru.
Mm-hmm.
And Bryce Underwood is remarkably talented and had no coaching.
Which we know. Yeah.
I mean, the only coaching he got was, never mind. The point is, yeah. If Sark calls another screen pass, fire him. Thank you. Thank you. Who's a real awkward guy who's been a member for 17 months. Appreciate that very much. Appreciate that very much. All right, let's firing Ryan Day is what we call premature firing for a sports talk argument. Well, you're not going to fire him now.
Well, but it wasn't premature at the time, Mike.
No.
It was a legitimate concern. I mean, that wasn't like, now it sounds silly because of what he's done and give him credit, but then, like, he hadn't won. I mean, he was what James Franklin was. Like, you were getting there, but you weren't winning, and you had done that for probably 10 years, I think it was, or like he had been there a long enough time where it was like, yeah, this is kind of your reputation now. You're no longer kind of still seasoning. You're that guy. That's who you are.
Yep.
And so, I just think it's again, it's the defining thing. But I think on a day when we're sitting here talking about private equity and money and revenue and who's doing what, and they're right now in college football, I just think, again, this is the same conversation we were having about like economics and things like that in the real world, right? Like, there's real value in having consistent and consistent, reliable income. And that's what I feel like the Dan Lannings of the world and others provide. If you have a younger head coach who can recruit and to a point where you're in the CFP and you're making that extra money, that's valuable. I don't like, from that standpoint, it's really valuable. So, that to me is that, like, that's the pressure on Lane Kiffin now, right? With everything that he did getting LSU, like, you're going to have to win and pay that off now and make them look good, or else that's going to get nasty for him. So that's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things where you can't put Marcus continues to text me about Zepbound and what I'm doing to look so thin. Like, he's asked me like 5 different ways.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you are like physically smaller. Like, and you probably don't see it as much as obviously other people looking at you do. That's how it works. Obviously, we all know that. But like, I think that bro, it's not rocket science. It's just it's a thing where I would say that you have a pretty good metabolism for where you're at. You're pretty active. Like, obviously the walking helps. Like, it's those little things those little added things that really help, and that's just, that's how it works.
Totally. And I'm telling you, it's this. Can you guys, I don't know if you see it.
Yeah,
I take one of those every day. It's called BioK. It's a probiotic supplement. Makes a big difference. I can't eat steak anymore. I don't love the steak, man. We had steak for dinner last night.
What do you mean?
Steak
you were
tacos.
Just high on steak. What do you mean? What do you?
I love it. I love it. It just sits in my system. Like, I eat steak on Zepbound and it just sits in my system.
I mean, how much are you having though? I mean, that's the thing. Not that you're eating a whole strip.
I probably had 6 ounces on Saturday night, and that just put the hard stop on my pooper. And then I probably had 6 more ounces last night, something like that, 6-8 ounces. I had another filet chopped up into tacos.
Mm-hmm.
And it just puts a hard stop on my system. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
love it.
I like how I feel on it. Steak and chicken and turkey sit really well for me. I am very, very cognizant of not eating a lot of steak in one sitting. Like I like those. I got the strips from Costco, that 3-pack, and I cut them in half. Like I didn't like when I say I cut them in half. What I did was I put it on its side and cut it in half, and then I cut it. So I basically quartered it.
Yeah.
And I a quarter of that steak is perfectly fine for one sitting, which is why I know we didn't talk about it a lot, but I actually think that's a great value for people on Zepbound right now, or any GLP-1. If you go to Costco and you get the 3-pack of strip, or like any of their multi-packs, because the portion size is so small, you can get a lot out of those, man.
Yeah, Marcus is talking about how he this is his 4th Zepbound shot. And starting from ground zero, 4th Zepbound shot, and I haven't even lost 10 pounds yet.
Well,
and
what level are you on?
Well, he's on 2.5.
Okay.
He started over. So
yeah, I didn't see a lot of progress on 2.5. I didn't. I had to go up.
Yeah.
And once I got to 5, the second level, that's when I started cutting a lot. So
yeah,
I just think that you have to go up.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. He lifts weights 4 days a week, and I think it's tough in the beginning on Zepbound. It's tougher to lose weight because of the inflammation. But Utah didn't dominate BYU. Well, Kyle Whittingham dominated BYU for much of his tenure. Last year, didn't they? I'm not going to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure they had almost 500 yards of offense. They lost a game last year. What was it, 24-21 they lost? So, I think it's interesting, but we'll see. By the way, my earlier question about TCU was more about that, dude. It's just their lies. It's not true. Like, can we get to a point at some point where we stop believing all of the bullshit that's on YouTube? If you guys are listening to Drake Toll, I don't know how to fix that. Like, has that guy ever been like? Go back to, I don't even remember Buddy's name, who was like, oh, the Pac-12's getting $600 million a year and they're going to block that. No, they're not.
Or Schultz is going to hold up the CFP committee.
No, he's not. He's not. Like, and you guys get into, and you just want to keep commenting about it. And it's like, you're trying to make us talk about it. And it just, come on, man. I recently talked with Doc because I seemed like I plateaued, so was advised to up the dosage to the next level. I'm on 10, and it makes a difference. This week, I have not lost a stitch, but again, I think it's because my system's on a hard stop, thanks to the steak the other night.
Marcus, the thing I would also say, dude, is that you do need to up the dosage if you are lifting 4 days a week. You need to. I don't know how you lift. There's a lot of different ways to lift. Are you lifting really heavy and putting a lot of stress on your body? Are you lifting for heart rate, lightweight, high rep, trying to get intensity out of it? I mean, it's just, there's a lot in there, but what I would tell you is that for me, the game that I play with myself in terms of food and losing the weight is I'm just simply trying to eat enough to where I feel, I mean, I never feel hungry, but I know when I need to eat. It's a feeling. You just know that, hey, like I need to eat something because I could just feel it. I'm not hungry, but I know my body's telling me like I need to eat. And sometimes that manifests itself in like fatigue, yawning, feeling tired. And then I eat and I'm like, all right, cool. I got my energy back. I'm good. Like we're good. So like, I know when I need to do that. I've got that pretty dialed. But like, again, I mean, yesterday I made that strip. I had it cut up just in a Tupperware in the thing. And I had legitimately probably 4 pieces of like just like julienne steak. Like you're not eating a lot. You're basically just eating enough to get your energy back, and that's basically it. And then you need to be drinking a lot of water. I'm guessing you're probably not drinking enough water, because if you're struggling to lose any weight, you're probably not peeing a lot and working your system, and you're lifting. Like it doesn't work. Well, that doesn't math for me, in my opinion. Not criticizing you. I'm just saying, like, you're lifting, your metabolism's going, your body's healing, which is going to burn more calories, but your muscles are also retaining water. So you need to be drinking enough water to where they can retain the water, and you still have extra. And you will know that when you're going to the bathroom more.
Yeah. Yeah. I go over to the old X machine to look up the BYU. I go to my internet browser, and X is the first thing I see here.
Yeah.
Wagyu steak on sale. I'm talking about steak, and there's a steak thing on.
It drives me nuts.
Come on, man. Anyway, my point is, you have to be. Yeah, I don't know. The Tallarico thing last night.
Incredible.
Jasmine Crockett calling it a fraudulent election.
It's just such a soft take, dude.
What the Republicans have done in the state of Texas to try and undermine the election is remarkable. It's remarkable. If TCU had not fired a winner in Gary Patterson, they had a good shot at the 2022 title. Instead, we got Spike's baby boy. Sonny Dykes is a good football coach. I just don't.
It ran its course.
Yeah. We need to hire and keep winners, fire losers, and play for top elite excellence. I would love to see that. Best advice you'll ever get: stay away from any show with Drake. Well, listen, I just think that
it's not personal, dude. It's a reputation thing. That's it.
There's just no. It's why I don't listen to other podcasts. I occasionally catch John Kurtz, who I think does a good job, but there's just not a lot of credibility out there. There truly is not a lot of credibility out there. All right, let's switch gears. Did you guys see my guy AJ Dybantsa? I'm a huge AJ Dybantsa fan.
Well, and everyone said that you have an ass take about him and how you were off your rocker.
Don't know what I'm talking
just terrible.
about.
And then all of a sudden, dude just goes and interviews with the Deseret, and all of a sudden, Monty looks like a genius once again.
I mean,
Do you want to go number one?
Yeah.
Do you think you will?
Well, I might not leave.
What do you mean?
Like, I might not leave college.
Why not?
I just got to return to the season.
So you haven't made up your mind that you're going to go into the draft?
Nah, cause my mom wants me to graduate.
Really?
Yeah, so I might not leave. But I might leave. I don't know. The fans might get into my head, talk about, 1 more year, maybe 3 more years. I don't know. But I'm going to have to talk to my mom. So
your mom wants you to stay and get your degree.
She wants me to get my degree.
Yeah. Why does she think it's important that you get your degree?
Because, as mom, she's thinking like post-basketball and, God forbid if anything happens to me, I should always have a backup plan.
I think people would be shocked to hear that, though, because everybody's assuming you're going into the draft after this season.
I mean, yeah, they can assume. I ain't say anything.
How awkward is Buddy interviewing him? Like, that's so awkward to look at.
He's the soft-spoken, church-affiliated reporter.
Guy. I'm bald.
Nice radio.
My mouth doesn't move when I speak. BYU radio. It's okay. Look, a couple of things. He's going to the NBA. He is going to the NBA. I agree. If you're at BYU or any other major NCAA university, you should get a degree while you're there. There's no reason not to. You will regret it if you do not.
Yeah.
You can't improve on being the number 1 overall pick. He's going to go 1 or he's going to go 2. And right now, I think he's going to go 1. So he's going to the NBA draft. If he does that, he probably doesn't finish his degree. And moms always have influence, right? But what do you think he's going to do?
Of course, I think he's probably going to go to the league. He's certainly not staying 4 years. I can tell you that. One thing to consider is a lot of these guys get way ahead on their education, so they'll finish their degree in 2.5 or 3 years. But again, I just have a real hard time seeing him being at BYU any longer than this season. And I would point to dudes like Larry Fitzgerald, who had the same concern with their mom and went back and finished their degree, and that was kind of a whole thing for Larry.
UOP, yeah, went to University of Phoenix.
Yeah, so
What kind of? I mean, think about all the people who went to University of Phoenix. They're not very. They're bad people.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. We don't know anybody who did that. I mean,
what a bunch of
what kind
losers.
of terrible education that is, dude. I mean, come on, dude.
Come on, dude.
Like, come on. Yeah.
Inside joke. Inside joke. Anyway, the point is, I think he's going to the league. Yeah. AJ will do the NBA, but think about it. Could use one more year to develop, still make a really great money. And honestly, college is more fun than the NBA. Dude, I think if you're worried about longevity in the NBA, you absolutely should go back to BYU. Yeah. He will be a better basketball player a year from now than he is at any time right now.
Yeah, and I just think, the development of it not being your freshman year, I think is super valuable. But again, I've been saying this for probably 10 days. You can't tell me that AJ Dybantsa is not paying attention to Darren Peterson's draft stock and what's gone on there, and like what's developed, and like, Darren Peterson trying to defend himself, and now everyone's saying that, like, anonymous league sources being reported as saying that there's too many concerns with Darren Peterson. And so I just think that it would be, from a financial life perspective, take basketball out of it, it would be a foolish decision not to go to the league because of the money and because of
but they got Bruce Branch. Like,
yeah,
that was a huge get for them, dude. Like,
But again, so if it was me and you were advising me and I could go one or two, you're really telling me that you would seriously consider staying at BYU?
No, you need to go out.
Yeah.
You need to go out. But you need to get your degree. I mean, I would that if you were my son, I'd be like, yeah, you're going to the NBA, but you need to get your degree.
Yeah.
And the problem is it's really hard your first 2 years in the NBA to do anything other than bounce a basketball.
Yeah.
Because those are the two most critical developmental years in your career. So, I mean, I would take him over Don't Want to Playderson for sure.
Seriously.
I mean, just on motor and desire, right? Either BYU have fun while making $7 million or go to the Wizards and be an NBA purgatory for 3
Yeah, but I don't think he's having
Jazz?
fun, dude. I don't think he's having fun. That's where you're mistaken. I don't think that this season has been fun. I think that yeah, sure. Does bro have fun on campus? Does he have friends and stuff? Sure, but that's just all. That's all surface level outside of his mission stuff.
I mean, you're getting blown out by Cincinnati. I mean, I think they lost last night. They almost gave up 100 again. I mean, he's putting up I think he had 23. I mean, it's basketball's not fun at BYU right now.
No.
You want to talk about a coach who should be on the clock? My God. Right? Like, I just look at the fact that you are 20-10. Dude, I'm telling you, they're going to be lucky to be. Are they an 8, 9, 10 team right now? Like, what's their seed going to be? They had the potential to be 4 or 5. I think they're going to be lucky to be a 9 right now. Like, BYU
rough,
is in a tailspin.
It's really rough, man.
It is
tough.
brutal.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, dude. I will say that Kevin Young, I think, is a talented coach. I do. But I think that BYU and Ryan Smith and Danny Ainge and all those dudes who brought him in from the league grossly and egregiously undervalued that college basketball and winning at the college level is a totally different juggernaut than winning in the NBA. And not that Ryan Smith knows a damn thing about winning in the NBA, but I just think that they were like, oh yeah, you're going to come from Phoenix and you knew KD and you guys were decent there. And it's like, well, actually, yeah, sure. Is he good with the players and do the players like playing for him? Obviously they do.
Yeah.
But there has to be a fine line. And this is the line that I think a lot of us struggle to walk no matter what side of the line you're on. Like, yeah, you need to be good with the players, certainly. But there's also time for being a hard ass and running your players and saying, hey, there's consequences. Dude, I can't even begin to tell you, as someone who is on the outside looking in of different athletics in college and the stories I hear and the thing, like, there are so many times where I'm like, bro, this is not that hard, dude. You play sports for a living and you have a job to do out there. And the fact that you would ever be seen on tape not giving 100% effort to basically die out on that floor for your team is incredible. And I don't know,
Man.
I don't know why it is so uncouth or just so taboo for a coach to be like, yeah, dude, like I'm gonna pull the Herb Brooks on you. You don't want to work. You didn't want to work in the game. We're gonna work after the game. We're gonna work in practice. You're gonna get that time in whether you want to or not because you're here. And again, I like AJ a lot, and I don't think he's a lazy player. I do think he plays hard. I just think he's so damn smooth with it that people are like, hey, is he really playing hard? Yeah, he's playing hard, dude. But at some point, there's got to be like, hey, Rob, right? Like, hey, all you dudes on the bench who are lazy as hell and not developing.
Hey,
like,
Richie Saunders knee ligament.
Yeah, like Richie Saunders might be the best example of what I'm trying to get at. That's a great point. The dude played his ass off every night. And yeah, did he have an off shooting night sometimes? Sure. But you were never going to question his effort and his energy. And that's what surprises me about Kevin Young as BYU's head coach. I really thought that, hey, yeah, this is a player's coach, but the NBA standard of work ethic and like putting the work in, I thought would translate. And I don't feel like that's translated real well this season.
No, I would agree with that. Bye. Mrs. Monty's leaving now. Love you too. It is a cold, rainy morning in Seattle.
Yeah, it was absolutely pouring as we were getting the show ready by me. Like I'm talking about like intensely raining.
Yeah. I'm ready for warm sun. I'm ready for warm sun. Damn. Dog just floated a deadly dookie whisper. What does that mean? Your dog just farted?
Yeah, let me fix that for you. Hey, damn, dude, my dog just took a dump on the carpet.
Yeah. Bears center Drew Dahlman retired. Yeah. Guys, playing in the NFL is hard. It's very difficult. Does BYU get bounced in the first round? I think it's likely.
Yeah.
I think it's likely.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, matchup, but yeah, I think it's 50-50, I would say.
I think it's very likely.
And I think that you want the honest opinion on it is that
don't give us your honest opinion. Give us your BS opinion.
BYU is a great team and they're going to win a national championship and going to BYU is great for your career. Oh, wait, I can't say that right now for this season of BYU basketball because I can't make the case that BYU basketball has been amazing for AJ Dybantsa when he could have gone to Duke.
Are we going to watch? Where are we going to watch the tournament, Jake?
Yeah, dude. Bro, pull up, dude. Pull up, man. Let's go, dude.
Pay that man his money.
Let's go. I want my wings.
I can't believe that the Atlanta Hawks and Magic, that still hurts my head. If you're just tuning in, we talked about this earlier. The Atlanta Hawks are hosting a Magic City night. And I want you to know that Magic City is a strip club.
And they will be selling the lemon pepper wings in the building.
So Oak State James can get his wings.
Yeah.
And the tickets are in demand. Look at the cost of the tickets for that night.
Up 300% from usual levels. Oh, I'm sorry. We're having a quote strip club night. Oh yeah, dude, butts in seats, bro. You might as well just replace the baskets with the poles. Don't even have the players come out.
What would it take for you to go to a strip club? I can't imagine what it would take for me to go to a strip club right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I am, and I think most people know this. I am fully against pornography. I'm a big believer that strip clubs, pornography itself, I just think it's brutal.
I don't want to know what that would do to my life if I was ever to be found at a strip club. I don't even want to begin to.
Well, it's not going to impact your life at all, but I just think it's, one, they're dirty. Two, like the sexualization and degradation of women. yeah, I guess we're still doing that. Like, I just think it's, come on. It just makes me crazy. Yeah, there better be only strippers wearing those hoodies and nothing but those hoodies. Well, we'll see. I am amazed by it.
Dude, it really says something that more people want to come to your game when you do this type of promotion versus just on normal promotion. Because again, I just want to emphasize normal promotion is like bobblehead night or like t-shirt night of this player or something. It's just like random. You guys know the usual promotions that you'll see. And then you pop off and you went full Magic City promotion and all of a sudden the whole building is full. Yeah, like you went full Magic City strip club promotion. And again, the number of people on this story calling Magic City a quote institution in the ATL tells you everything you need to know about where the Hawks are at right now. I mean, it's crazy, dude.
Joey says you look miserable in the suburbs of Eugene.
I wouldn't say that I'm miserable, but yeah, it rains a lot. It rains a lot.
Yeah, I'm playing a new course on Saturday, but my guess is I'm not going to play because it's supposed to rain.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'm playing West Seattle Saturday, and the swing is nice right now. By the way, what?
Yeah, so rain all day today, tomorrow, and Friday. Saturday, it's just going to be cloudy with a high of 60. Sunday, cloudy, high of 60. And then promptly Monday, more rain. Tuesday, chance of snow. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, more rain. Okay. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Dude.
It does appear to me that there's only going to be 1 or 2 rounds of golf before we go to LA to play golf.
Yeah.
Golf.
It's,
and the weather in LA, we're going to LA at the end of the month to play golf.
Yeah, this is the real nut buster.
And it does appear daily. Ooh, it got better. It got better.
Okay, what are the highs?
60s.
Nice. Okay.
Hell yes.
Okay.
See, golf makes the world go round. Playing a little golf.
Yeah.
I just like saying golf instead of golf. Good to see you. Last strip club I was taken to in 95 or so, it was so bad that the strippers were asking for change from the audience so they could put it in the jukebox for music to dance to.
Help me, dude.
I'll never go to a strip club. I've been a couple of times and it's never been a good experience.
No.
Maybe because the last time I went was 20 years ago in Sacramento. But maybe
you haven't been to Magic City, Monty? Come on.
Yeah, maybe that's my issue.
Yeah.
But I'm not here. I am not here to propagate strip clubs. And the fact that the NBA is doing a promotion based on a strip club is ridiculous. It things I never thought I would see.
Yeah.
The NBA doing strip clubs.
That's how irrelevant the Hawks are. They have to do this.
The NBA is broken.
Yeah.
It is. All right, real quick on Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather. Jake, did we get this video?
Yes, I believe I did. Yes. Let's see here.
Logan, here it is right here. Listen to Logan Paul talking about Floyd Mayweather.
He still owes me $1.5 million. Maybe more.
How does he owe you the money? Why don't you just
Here's what happened. He pre-sold the fight using my likeness to some company in, I think, Dubai or the Middle East. This is my understanding of it, for $10 million cash. We ended up doing the fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment. I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
Okay, first of all.
Okay, so what's the first thing you said to me when I sent you this video?
Bro is clickbaiting again. Second of all.
So you don't believe this at all?
Not for a second. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn that you're fighting in this fight with Floyd. I'm not watching the fight, period. But if I was, I wouldn't be watching for you. Okay. Let's make that really clear. Secondly, he did a deal overseas. Good luck getting that enforced, dude. Good luck chasing down that money. Thirdly, you're really crying over $1.5 million when you're supposed to be this gazillionaire. That's really what we're doing now, which is my main problem with this whole take. So let me get this right. You clickbaited with Tom Brady and you wanted to say that you were an incredible athlete. Now you're clickbaiting with Floyd Mayweather saying that he owes you money and yada, yada, yada. Dude, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not saying I like Floyd Mayweather, but what I know Floyd to be is a moneymaker. And the guy's been doing the fight game for decades at this point. Like, he's fighting Tyson in Africa. Like, the guy knows how to put a fight together and make some money. And that fight, unlike the Paul fight, is actually officially sanctioned. Like, his record is on the line. Not that I think he'll lose to Mike Tyson, but it's a real fight that's being officially sanctioned and it counts. So I don't know, dude. I'm just not, I'm not here for the Paul brothers and anything that they do. I think they're schemers. I think that this is all a circus show, smoke show. And it's pure viewership.
Well, I think what people forget is there was no winner or loser in that fight. It was an exhibition.
Yeah.
I mean, Logan Paul got his ass beat. I mean, he didn't get knocked out. He lasted 8 rounds. But I think there's probably some truth in that. I don't know. I mean, what do I believe? I mean, I don't know the facts. It's all my opinion. But if you're Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul says he ripped you off, or that you ripped Logan Paul off, wouldn't you sue him for that? Isn't that libelous?
Yeah, but it's 1.5 million is nothing to these guys. That's my point. Is that this is a drop in the bucket for these dudes, man. Like,
well, and Logan Paul doesn't exactly have the best business reputation.
Yeah.
Him and his brother have had some scrapes with the law and with the courts on several things, but I tend to believe him. Do I hate Logan Paul? He's not my flavor of soda.
Creator.
He's not my hero.
He's not Teddy KGB,
I say pay that man his money anyway, but
pay that man his money.
Right? Like, if you owe it to him. But I don't like Logan and his brother. I just think they're douchebags.
Yeah.
I don't hate them the way that a lot of people hate them. But I
don't think they have credibility. That's the problem. Like, I don't hate you. I just don't believe you. I don't put stock into what you say.
Yeah.
You're always the victim.
Like
you're always defending yourself. You're always, oh, Tom said I was a terrible athlete. Well, dude, I ran for 1 million yards in high school. Cool, dude. That's high school against also ran.
But did you see, you didn't get that Tom Brady video I sent you? Tom Brady. So Logan Paul, one of the Paul brothers is playing in the flag football tournament. Which is that still going on? Because I thought that was in Dubai. There's something or other. I heard there were some things happening in Dubai recently.
Just a couple of things.
But Tom Brady called Logan Paul a biznatch. The Fanatics Flag Football Classic in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on March 21st.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to happen or not. Did you see this John Rahm thing? Okay, so.
Yeah, the meltdown.
First, no. First of all, I love TGL. Second of all, I'm not a Live Golf fan. Live Golf had multiple players stuck in Dubai, in the Emirates, because of apparently there were some projectiles being thrown around. I heard some things, but you add Lee Westwood, Laurie Cantor, Sam Horsfield, Adrian Moronk, Thomas Detry, Caleb Surratt, Tom McGibbon, all stuck as well as Lahiri was also stuck in the Middle East. And Live Golf is playing Hong Kong this week. But they're stranded in the Middle East because of what's going on with Iran, and the government won't get them out of there. The Saudi government and Live Golf was not helping them get a plane to get out of there. So at the end of the day, the reports are John Rahm, out of his own pocket, sent a plane to pick those guys up and fly them to Hong Kong so that they could get out of the war zone. But Live Golf is not doing that.
Yeah.
You really are not doing that?
So are we supposed to feel bad for these dudes? You chose to do business with these people. This is what you get. This is what you get. Yeah, I mean, this is what you get when you chase the money and you do business with people who don't care about you and they just want to pay you money because they want to launch a tour.
Pay that man his money.
That's what this is. That you're a number. You're not a person. So credit to John Rahm, right? Like, great job, found a solution, did what he needed to do. Love that. That's a great, a great part of this story. But I don't. Sorry, let me be a douchebag. This wouldn't have happened if you'd stayed on U.S. soil. This wouldn't have happened if you were on the PGA Tour. But you're not, and you wanted to go and be the cool kid and take the money. And so now you're overseas in a war zone and you can't get out of it. So John Rahm's got to bail you out.
It's crazy. It is really, really crazy. Awkward guy agrees with you. Maybe they think it's safer to hunker down instead of taking a chance on them getting blown up in a plane. Dude. Sergeant Green, speaking of projectiles, had my colonoscopy this morning.
Nice.
All went well. Nice.
Nice.
Nice, dude. I'm glad it's over for you. Enjoy your first meal. See, that's why I never want to go to the Middle East, even places that are said to be safe like Dubai. I told my wife it's over now.
Yeah.
I will not be going to Dubai in my lifetime.
Not as an American going to the Middle East. That's not happening.
Not finna gonna.
I'm going to be honest, and it's irrational to worry about it going to Europe, but I was somewhat uncomfortable, initially traveling to Europe. Like, I just was like, dude, like, what if this happens or that happens? I mean, you just never know. You're in a different part of the world. You never know who you're going to run into.
Take me back to Paris right now.
Yeah.
Right. Doug O'Reilly, the issue isn't just golf. Anyone who chooses to make money and go over there takes the risk being in that area. You do. Going to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia to play flag football.
Yeah, but here's the deal, dude. I agree with you. It's not just about golf, but in this conversation, it has everything to do with golf, because you wouldn't have been there if you'd have just stayed right where you were on the best tour in the world.
I would tend to agree with that. That's very, very interesting. Do you think Live Golf can survive? Because I do not. I think they're inside it too. If DeChambeau leaves after the season, they're done.
Yeah, I just think that they didn't look, as usual. It's not about just the names you have on the tour. It's about the competitive nature and the positions they find themselves in. And you've always been reaching for relevance. And I agree that there's a large conversation on the PGA Tour right now going on about the quality of majors and, the Live guys playing in majors and things like that. And it can't be called a major unless Bryson and Rahm and these other really talented guys are part of those tournaments. And I agree with that. But here's the reality that I think Live didn't see coming or didn't want to embrace. Putting these guys in shorts on a no-cut tournament style tour, it took their fire away. It took their killer instinct away. Why has Rahm struggled at the Masters? Well, because he doesn't know how to play under pressure now. He hasn't had to play under pressure in years. And it takes time. It takes time to get back to an iconic venue like Torrey or Augusta or anywhere you want to look, and have to go out and earn your keep and make the cut. It is why I did not respect these guys and still don't respect these guys. Like, the only reason that Bryson has survived through all of this is because he has his social media following and he's one of the most personable guys around.
Yeah.
Don't like his politics. Not a fan of that. But just as a pure golfer, he's one of the most enjoyable people to watch golf you're going to find. Him and Rory had was iconic. Like you're not escaping that. So I just think I don't think that Liv did the math right. I don't think they calculated what actually helps them survive, which is pressure-packed moments, guys failing, guys succeeding, and putting the biggest names in the world in really tough positions and seeing what happens. Because that's all the PGA Tour is, right? I mean, it's, hey, like you're playing a 36-hole cut, and some weeks Scotty's going to struggle to make the cut, and other weeks he's going to dominate the field and lead wire to wire. But that's what makes it interesting. So I just think that I don't feel bad for you. I think that you chose the easy route instead of the right route, and that's why you find yourself where you are. Because as far as I'm concerned, Jon Rahm is not one of the best golfers right now. I think he's got the talent within him, but he's got to relearn how to play in pressure-packed moments. There's no question about it.
Yeah. Jasmine Crockett has conceded. She called James Tallarico and congratulated him on his win and is committed to helping him get elected. So that whole thing is over. That whole thing is over now. We gotta find time at some point when we don't have this mountain of sports to talk about.
What, Magic City Monday's not getting it done, dude?
We need to have a real talk about why James Tallarico won so convincingly.
Okay, here's a question. Me and Monty were talking about this yesterday. There have been some requests for a political focused Monty Show sub channel on the YouTube channel. A alternate channel, not this one, but an alternate one that you can find. We can link it below. That focuses on politics. Is that we are trying to gauge interest in that. Do you guys have interest in that? And we would also touch on other things like politics, life stuff, just depends on the day. But it would be a non-sports channel. Is there interest in that in the comment section?
I've gotten a lot. I don't know what Tallarico's done to a lot of people, but after our conversation about James Tallarico yesterday, I got a lot of people like, hey, you should do this regularly. I would not do it on this channel. It will be a different channel. But yeah. I am convinced that we need to put more light on people doing politics the right way. And I think that especially with what we've seen from YouTube and suppressing our videos, like there might be, because it's pretty clear if you go back and look at our playlists, BYU and politics always gets suppressed.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. Marcus had a really good point. You're clearly passionate about it. People like listening to you talk about it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Yeah. The Tallarico phenomena is real. He won in a runaway. And you look at the Democrats across the country last night, winning in districts that Donald Trump absolutely dominated. Absolutely dominated. And I think it's real. I think they're handling it very wisely. Texas is going to be I can't believe Texas goes to the Democrats. That would be, I'm not a Texan. I don't live there, but I can't believe.
Shocking.
Is he really going to beat Cornyn? Did Cornyn win last night? I didn't even check that. I just think whatever Tallarico's got, we need more of.
Yeah.
We need more of it. And I think it has to happen. I mean, hell, Mark Teixeira, did you guys see the former major leaguer Mark Teixeira won his primary last night? That weird dude, the eye patch guy, got destroyed. Dan Crenshaw out. He got absolutely waxed. Like,
yeah.
I think Tallarico has a real opportunity here to capture people's imaginations. It's just going to be interesting to see how this all goes. I guess that's the right place to leave it. I want to see, can Tallarico get a push Can Tallarico get a push to get to a place where he can beat John Cornyn? That's the biggest question. And I don't know if the answer is yes or no. It's going to be interesting. So, Cornyn is in a runoff. We'll see. Yeah, no, I understand that. Last night was not to be. Last night was the primaries. Who are the Republicans going to put up? Who are the Democrats going to put up?
Yeah.
Tallarico's the Democratic nominee, and now Cornyn's got to go to a runoff in May. So it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, yeah, we'll get into that more.
Yeah.
We do need to keep the separation of sports and politics pretty delineated.
Yeah.
So, because people tend to get so upset. All right. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Clear risk-free advice available to you 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime because you never reach in your pocket to pay the Advocates. No, friends. You don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. 24/7, 365. A live attorney is available to you at theadvocates.com. Until tomorrow, have a good day, Jake.
Have a good day, Jake.